less than a year ago, Inter and Roma fought out the final of a major European competition. Inter, in the end, bringing to the city of Milan the UEFA Cup. Rivalry renewed today in the First Division. Two big clubs who need now to push hard for success over the second half of the season. Inter have been unable to score goals with any regularity. Last Wednesday, they had to wait until injury time to overcome third from bottom Cremonese. Jurgen Klinsmann offering hope of an upturn in Inter's fortune. His third goal in 4 games, but only his 4th of the season. That's part of a disappointing Inter story. Inter now under the Spanish coach Luis Suarez. They moved up to 6th in the table with that win. But Roma, who've lost 3 of their last 7 games, have now dropped down the division to 10th place. Roma certainly have a fight on their hands this afternoon. Their first choice goalkeeper, Carboni, is again injured, so Zinetti again deputises. And injuries also deprive them of the creative talents of Thomas Hessler in midfield and Ruggiero Rizzitelli further forward. On top of that, the coach Ottavio Bianchi has left his captain Giuseppe Giannini amongst the substitutes. Giannini, one of a number of Roma players suffering with flu, including Rudi Voller. But Voller is included in the starting 11. Well, Inter come out for their 3rd match in 8 days under Suarez, who was hired when Corrado Orico resigned 2 weeks ago. He's not tampered greatly with the personnel in the side. These all familiar names to you, I'm sure. But the tactics have been changed. Orico's strategy of zonal defending was much criticised and has been scrapped. Suarez, who as a player steered Inter to 3 league championships in the 60s, has returned to more traditional Italian values. The referee is Mauro Felicani. In the February sunshine, Inter kick off attacking the goal to the right. Beaten just 3 times in the league this season, but they just haven't had the penetration in their attack, which is surprising given the gifts of Klinsmann, supported of course from midfield by Matthaus. They've averaged only a goal a game, and an early exit from European competition didn't help either. Here's Brehme. One wonders what will happen to the trio of Germans for next season here. Certainly Brehme's future was debated much last summer, but with the support of Klinsmann and Matthaus, he was kept. But a German influence on both sides today, despite the absence of Hessler. Voller, who has also taken time for his season to get going, has scored 3 times in his last 3 matches. Bergomi and Nela allowing Zinetti to get an early feel of the ball. 33-year-old goalkeeper, had 10 seasons with Bologna, but recognised as Roma's reserve to that very tall custodian Carboni. The header from Ferri. Roma started the season with 3 away wins, but they haven't had a success on their travels since late September. But they are the possessors of one most unusual record. They played 9 away games in the league, and they've scored 1 goal in each of them. No less, no more. Bianchi, who works hard up and down the right-hand side for Inter. Well, Luis Suarez, who took Spain to the World Cup finals in 1990. but was unable to do the same in the European Championships. This is encouraging for his new charges, though. Matthaus with a cross. Oh, and it was swept goalwards by Berti. An early ball from Matthaus. Berti poised, well balanced, but not quite clean enough contact. And news sweeping the ground here, I can only assume, from Cagliari, where Milan are playing, and judging by the reaction, it might not be good news for the followers of AC Milan. Here's Salzman. Bianchi. Oh, and no understanding that time after the earlier promising move involving Matthaus. Brehme. Roma are still in the European Cup Winners' Cup, quarter-final to look forward to in that competition. Inter have the free kick. Brehme, who's so often spot on with his accuracy in these situations, will be kept in play by Berti. And that's Battistini. Well, there's an early purpose here from the home side, and Roma finding themselves being examined in the air and not always equal to that examination. Stray ball by Piacentini. Zenga. Well, Suarez will be pleased with the progress so far, but like Orico before him, making the chances not the problem, it's the taking of them. Matthaus. Aldair showing Roma's resolve here, and Bianchi, casualty of the Brazilians' quest for possession. Not the first injury that Bianchi has picked up this season. He's been out with hamstring trouble. This looks a different type of problem, but nevertheless a serious one. I just wonder whether Bianchi will be able to continue for much longer. He doesn't look as though he's got really the stomach for the fight. Zenga surveying the damage from far distance. That was Ferri, like Battistini a minute or two earlier, making a nuisance of himself in the Roma penalty area. Here's Klinsmann. Carboni got to it first of all for Roma, needs to go again here, and again Bianchi coming in with a certain amount of reluctance. Brehme. Well, he fires the ball across like that with so much menace. And there have been few better from the left-back position in providing chances than Andy Brehme. Foul by Bergomi. All apologies to Fola. Ottavio Bianchi, recognised for his success as a coach in Naples. Well, Roma at the moment making progress through free kicks. Bonacina brought down by Brehme. Carboni getting to it. Fola chasing. And Bergomi right by his side. Bergomi, whose international days may well be drawing to a close. He's played 77 times for Italy, including winning the World Cup very early in that international career in 1982. Klinsmann, who of course has also had that accolade, allowed to run. Brehme. Mela saw where the ball was coming to. That was Matthaus, and it was a marvellous attempt. Well, his only goals this season in the league have come from penalties, but you wonder how that has happened, given the venom in the right foot. Well, it was inches too high, but it had the crowd leaning forward then, in real anticipation. Down the years, he's so often hit the target from outside of the penalty area. But maybe another indication of how it's gone for Inter. It's been a season that hasn't quite developed for them. And of course the contrast with the club which shares the ground here makes any shortfall that much more conspicuous. Carnevali for Roma, good running for Carboni. Oh, and he was in a position there, having got in. It was a real blow for him, but there have been signs since he was released from the ban earlier this season that he can still be a force at this level of the game. And Inter let him go there and couldn't prevent the shot coming in. By Klinsmann, and he won't quite get there. Naylor came across and not only won the ball for Roma, kept it in play. Bergomi getting in quickly. This is Demarchi and Salsano with space to move into. Ola trying to take up a position alongside him, and Brehme came back. Knocked the ball against Bergomi. Now he's overdone it. Bonacina asking Carnevali to fight for that one. Carboni. Well, there were promising signs for Inter earlier in the half, with their ability to take up positions near the touchlines and deliver crosses with some menace. But now Roma with Vola looking to force a path through here. And they'll still have the ball at the free kick. Consistent play by Vola. Carboni taking it on, and then tripped by Ferri. Well, Vola, who has been suffering with this bug that's been going around the Roma camp, rather coughing and spluttering there. Now what can Roma manufacture here? Salsano just changing the angle slightly. Battistini not clearing the danger. Vola. Like a good golfer replacing the divot. Well, Suarez has fielded a side today that includes 7 players who were in the championship winning team of 1989. But the self-belief that they showed as they carried all before them in that season, not really on view consistently here, for all the prompting of Matthaus. The running of Berti. Fontolan's been on the edge of the match so far. Brehme might well carve out a chance. Ferri trying to join in from the back. Here's Desideri. Now Bergomi, more sustained pressure here, but Roma able to see what's happening in front of them, and they'll let Klinsmann turn at the end of it, which certainly wasn't in the Roma plan. And they got away with it, but only just. Inter putting their passes together, and then suddenly Klinsmann got the better of Demarchi, and then there were major problems. The outcome is a corner. Klinsmann trying to get free, Demarchi trying to be more diligent in his covering of him this time. Fontolan looking to flick it on. Baggio was right in there. And in the end, it's bowled away by Zinetti. Salsano was fouled by Berti. He's very open with his emotions, Nicola Berti. But I don't think there was any doubt there that the referee was right. Headed away by Dino Baggio. Klinsmann. Well, he's worked out now that Demarchi is there for the taking because he's getting too tight on the German. Klinsmann spinning away, and Demarchi, fortunate really not to collect a yellow card then. Fontolan trying to come up with the same sort of move against Garzya, but actually he was doing the pushing. Just a question now of the time referee Felicani will add on for stoppages at the end of the first half, which has promised plenty, but in truth has really failed to deliver too much. Klinsmann has been a thorn in Roma's side, particularly the defender deputed to mark him man for man, Marco Demarchi, who's on loan at Roma from Juventus. Well, the last chance for Inter surely to nose their way in front before the half-time whistle goes. Anything is possible at a Matthaus free kick. He's seen that the goalkeeper's looking to come for a cross, but a cross it is. The linesman was flagging, and the referee once more, well, he blows for half-time now, and Roma with more to be pleased about, simply because as the away side, a draw is the better outcome for them than it would be for Inter. Not too much to trouble Zenga. Giannini waiting for the call perhaps at half-time. It's Inter 0. This hasn't been a very good ground for them in recent times. They've lost their last 6 league visits here to play Inter. And of course, earlier this season, they were swamped by Milan here by 4-1. Have to go back to the 1980-81 season to find their last victory against Inter at San Siro. But 0-0 so far, and for Ottavio Bianchi, who is being mentioned in some quarters as a possible Inter coach next season. Suarez only being given the job until the end of this season so far. But Ottavio Bianchi pleased enough, I'm sure, that Roma come out for the second half still level, and in the formative stage of the second half, an opportunity to make something at the expense of Zenga, perhaps, at this free kick. Salsano over the ball, Carboni is poised. One of 3 players, but it does go to Carboni. Zenga not too pleased, but he very rarely is with his teammates. And you've played 54 times for your country, well, I suppose you're entitled to criticise them. Giannini from the sickbed to the substitutes bench, and maybe now in the second half onto the pitch, signs that that could happen. Berti going in. He does time his runs from midfield well. Having a good look at the cross before it was into the penalty area, but it really took too long for him to drop. Matthaus. Baggio, who has played for Italy this season, the other Baggio, really. Matthaus, it's a great chance, the best that Inter have had. And in the end, it was neither one thing nor the other. Well, Roma should have paid the full price for letting Matthaus get into that position. It was very close. Had it been pulled back as a cross shot, well, maybe Klinsmann or Fontolan could have finished it off. But it's another little cameo of Inter's season. Well, Roma recognise the need to just improve their second half performance, and Fola is certainly suffering. Giannini, one would hope, in somewhat better health, but the two of them together, neither really in full athletic order. Well, the captain's armband hasn't passed to Giannini. A surprise in that. Piacentini has been given the responsibility. Still more than half an hour for Giannini to play. And Piacentini, with the responsibility, goes a caution. He turned Matthaus then, but I must say the incident alone didn't seem to merit the punishment. Brehme, and they're caught offside in abundance. Dino Baggio, one of the culprits. Happy to take their time at any stoppage and let the match glide by. Oh, and Fontolan, little kick into the Achilles tendon of Naylor then, to suggest that Inter are feeling some frustration. Matthaus trying to link up with Baggio, bumping into Salsano. Carnevali, who got the winning goal last week for Roma against Verona. Only his second in the league since his return to availability in October. But he has been picking up goals in the European competition. Giannini getting himself into trouble here. That was a bad tackle on Berti. Fontolan, good turn. Well, if he goes down here, something might be in the offing, but the referee, as you saw, was very well placed to evaluate. Salsano on the counter-attack, and Carnevali wanted the ball played through the centre. It didn't come. Meanwhile, the Inter fans wondering whether there should have been a penalty. Maybe if Fontolan had gone down instantly, he might have got one, but it seemed to me he thought about it. And was actually just trying to get into the area, and that angle proved quite conclusively the referee absolutely right. Carnevali. Here's Giannini. Carnevali going forward now, and Giannini holding on too long. Fontolan. Matthaus, who wasn't the best of passers. Matthaus tries again. Klinsmann. Brehme. Perfect position for him. Oh, it was a fine cross. And Battistini came hurtling in. Got to it very bravely indeed, got on top of the ball, headed it down, and it skipped up over the bar. That was as good as Inter have produced here, and it really deserved a better fate. The approach play was well defined, it just lacked the finish. How often have Inter had to say that this season? Even in the limited time under Suarez, it's been eventful for them. They were 2 up against 10 men against Foggia a week ago, and it finished 2-2. Then they had to wait until injury time to get the winner against Cremonese, a match that was abandoned earlier in the season and restaged 4 days ago. Now, Inter, through their supporters, trying to claim a foul on Klinsmann, is still chasing. Well, Roma won't be too pleased to see Ciocci come on the second Sunday of the season in the Olympic Stadium in Rome. Ciocci made a late appearance as a substitute and earned a penalty, which Matthaus put away for the only goal of the game. Bergomi is the displaced person to allow Ciocci's entrance. Brehme. Fontolan wants the corner, and Aldair can't prevent him getting it. Brehme scampering across to take it. Zenga adding his words of encouragement from the far end of the ground. A goalless draw here would not be regarded by Inter, although they have forced the pace, as any sort of triumph. Last season they beat Roma twice on this ground, 2-1 in the league and 2-0 in the UEFA Cup first leg. Carnevali. It's important for Roma to hold the ball up when they do get into the Inter half. They haven't been doing that with any great regularity, but Carnevali had more success here against Ferri in earning a free kick. Aldair has come forward, and Demarchi, the number 5. Carnevali not to be neglected by Inter in the middle. Oh, and it flew across the face of the goal from Giannini, and it's a corner. Ball just brushing the fingertips, did it, of Zenga, or maybe touched Matthaus earlier in its flight. Salsano. Space now for Piacentini. Salsano. Roma still well represented, but not able to reach the cross. Brought out by Ciocci. Salsano gets it back, and then, having tackled well, just touched the ball too strongly. Brehme. Well, if it was a boxing match, you'd have Inter ahead on points for having more of the ball, but Roma trying to put their lesser share of possession to better use. Matthaus. Berti able to chest it down and stride on. Aldair sides him down. Well, that was a desperate moment for Roma, and it required desperate remedies. There were other defenders behind Aldair, so he spared the red card, but undoubtedly the referee right to produce the yellow. And I think some professional understanding there between Berti and the player who rather assaulted him. Well, Suarez praying now that the pressure will produce a goal, and one goal would be enough to win it, one feels. Matthaus out nobly came Carboni. Battistini, Ferri trying to switch the point of attack. The ball holding up well on the pitch for Fontolan. Klinsmann claiming he was bundled over at the near post. Referee having none of it. Carnevale. Good running here by Piacentini. Carnevale wants it rolled back to him, and he'll now have to react to that request. It's a corner to Roma. Much better second half. Salsano, good control by Giannini. Berti getting to him, pushing him really. Aldair had the shot. Oh, and if that had ricocheted to Salsano, Roma might have been in. Instead they have the throw. Fontolan coming back to help Inter regain possession. Brehme. Inter want the ball moved forward more quickly, certainly the fans did, and I suspect the players as well, but it wasn't possible. It happens now from Zenga's clearance. Well, we're into the last 15 minutes. Here's Desideri. Fontolan. Klinsmann thought about spinning into a first-time shot, decided against that. Wants Brehme to knock the ball in. That's way below his normal standards. Just looking to clip it. In the end, under-hit ball. Fontolan has made real progress now. This is a great chance for Inter, and Ciocci, you sensed as he drove it low. Inter were going to have a goal to salute, a goal that they would certainly feel they deserve. Not too much wrong with the shot, except that Zinetti, remember the reserve goalkeeper for Roma, produced an excellent save. Oh, the goalkeeper was nowhere that time. It was Ciocci again, I think. And the ball flicked off the top of the bar. And surely Inter are going to get some success soon. Look where the goalkeeper was. He was in no position to make a save had it been millimetres lower. Brehme. Well, two teams here whose records show a goal a game, which is not a very bright record indeed. Are they going to produce one here? Oh, Carnevale must do! Oh dear, he was falling over as he pulled back the right boot, and no one needs to tell him that this, at this level of the game, was a golden opportunity. You get few chances such as that, and Carnevale wasted it. So for all Inter's probing and the opportunities that they have made, they could have been staring a defeat in the face if Carnevale had connected as he should have done. Matthaus. Matthaus again. There's the shot on. He likes to hit them with the right foot. He might be able to do that. And Bonacina was the player who got back for Roma. Inter surrounding the referee, and Matthaus, who chased back, feeling very hard done by, gets booked for his protests. He's continuing them. Well, we'll see here. Naylor had to let him go. Bonacina nudging and hoping, and Demarchi actually held his right foot back. Matthaus was looking to go over it, but it wasn't there. Well, the referee about to draw a veil over proceedings here. The second half, much more eventful, but you've seen in one match here, really, the story of Inter's progress, or rather lack of it, in the Italian First Division. Certainly amongst the favourites as the season began to challenge for the title. But just 18 goals in 19 games, or will the 19th come in the nick of time here? No. And the complaints are that there was a dive by Fontolan, and that's the way the referee saw it too. Zinetti trying to act as a peacemaker. Desperate measures here for Inter. Fontolan had lost the ball. He'd lost the ball, and once more, referee Felicani, I think, got it absolutely right. All credit to Zinetti for a good performance in the Roma goal. They haven't missed Cervone. They have missed a very good chance from Carnevale at a stage when Inter really were in control and threatening to get a victory that their fans would believe that they should have had. But they huffed and puffed, but they couldn't blow the Roma house down. And although the second half was much more entertaining, the game has finished. Inter 0, Roma 0.